Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Progressive Discussions. I'm your host, James P. Madonna. As seen on the web since 2007. Welcome, everyone. It is another unseasonably hot climate change day here in northeastern New Jersey. But I can't complain too much because Southern Europe, the Middle East, and America's South is having a much worse heat wave than we are. It happens to be the end of July 2023. Time goes by very fast. And before you know it, it will be the month of August. My birthday's August 1st, and I might as well sink my teeth right into the topics for this week's Progressive Discussions. I want to thank celebrity performing artist Paul Anthony Mantia and clothing designer as well, Paul Anthony Mantia, for a great show. Northern Lights Tie-Dye TV last night, live stream show. Unfortunately, YouTube took it off. Now, I had it streaming to YouTube and Twitter. The first time I had it streaming on YouTube and Facebook. So it was YouTube and Twitter. YouTube put the word copyright on the first show, and evidently they did not allow the second show, uh, the the recorded show, um, pre-recorded because it was live stream. They didn't allow it on YouTube because of copyright music. But here's the thing: Paul Anthony Mantia was playing, singing, and playing the famous songs that were copyrighted. It wasn't the original artist. It was not the original song. And he told me that there are many tribute musicians and tribute bands that have videos already on YouTube. So why take our show off? It might be another reason. They might be targeting certain people that reveal the real hard-hitting truth, or progressives, but we go deep. So maybe they're targeting us. Just like Facebook, like the scumbag of all scumbags, Mark Zuckerberg, is targeting my right-hand man and co-host, Mick Von Raven, over on Facebook, unjustly so, even when he does nothing. So the social media does not practice the First Amendment at all. They don't care about the First Amendment. They don't even respect your private information. Zuckerberg was caught selling your private information without your authorization, without you knowing it. And maybe that's the reason why telemarketers and scammers every day and night are bothering me. They're calling me using phone numbers and names of people I know personally. Talk about a sneaky way to get you to pick up the phone. People I know personally using their names and phone numbers to get me to pick up the phone so they can try to scam me. And I'm too street smart to be scammed. Believe me, I could pick up, I could see all red flags immediately. So why did they take it off if Paul Anthony Mantia was like a retro band, um, singing in a different way, of course, singing popular copyright songs. I have no idea why. All right, let me get to the first part. Subject here. Well, let me open this one up. I think it's funny. I think it's rather amusing. Okay. Bear with me. I always say bear with me. It's really frustrating because I had to take the show, I had to take the link from Twitter and put it on Facebook so Paul can see it, but Zuckerberg does not properly let people view links from other websites. It's like pretty lame, and it doesn't show an image of the video. It doesn't even show the title of the video. Yeah. Yeah, get into the other thing. Yeah, there's tribute bands that already have um, videos on YouTube that are not taken, but they single us out. Okay, I just want to bring up. Hey, what's going on here? What is this crap? Hold on. Here we go. Hey, Gunner Lindblom is 2 Alpha. What's up, bras? Well, it's only one bra, so well, it's two bras, you and me so far. Fuck, well, yeah, well, they hate men. That's why they don't have our best interest. That's why they want to sabotage and destroy the traditional family unit and uh, dating and romance that has been going on for hundreds of thousands of years between a heterosexual a male and a female. They want to destroy all that. Well, let me get to this. No, I did not. No, I haven't seen it yet. Is it real lame? Anti-male? Oh, so they're they're mocking real masculinity, right? They're are they promoting um, blue pill, beta simp? Um, what's the other word they used to use? Gentleman, uh, cavalier, gentleman, or yeah, are they promoting men with no spine, no backbone? Anti-male, huh? So it's a feminist movie. That's what you're saying. They have a strong politically correct message. All right, let me get to this one and see what you think. House Republicans propose planting 1 trillion trees as they move away from climate change denial. The tree planting push has drawn intense pushback from environmental scientists who call it a distraction from cutting emissions from fossil fuels. Well, planting 1 trillion trees is not going to uh, cancel out uh, pollution from the fossil fuel industry. I think it's just a big distraction. You know, when you watch the mainstream media, I know that government or the oligarch that owns the media, I know they throw many ridiculous, frivolous distractions at the mainstream population to prevent us from seeing what's really going on. And if you're an independent, if you're a truth-seeking, independent, critical, free thinker, you will spot the distractions, just like you will spot the red flags with a feminist modern female. Okay, by Associated Press, as Speaker Kevin McCarthy visited a natural gas drilling site in Northeast Ohio to promote House Republicans' plan to sharply decrease domestic production of energy from fossil fuels last month. The signs of rising global temperatures could not be ignored. Smoke from Canadian wildfires hung in the air. Yeah, aside from California's. When the speaker was asked about climate change and forest fires, he was ready with a response. Plant 1 trillion trees. Well, he says trillion because it rhymes with trees. The idea, simply yet massively ambitious, revealed recent Republican thinking on how to address climate change. The party is no longer denying that global warming exists, yet is searching for a response to sweltering summers, weather disasters, and rising sea levels that doesn't involve abandoning their enthusiastic support for American produced energy from burning oil, coal, and gas. Yeah, because they're getting paid off by big oil. That's why they're greedy, corrupt, lying pieces of shit. The lowest of the low, the lowest common denominators. A corrupt, greedy capitalist politician of the establishment. We need to manage our forests better so our environment can be stronger. Yeah, right, stronger, my ass. Yeah, said McCarthy, Republican from California, adding, let's replace Russian natural gas with American natural gas. Hey, flag waving, we're waving the old flag. And let's not only have a cleaner world, let's have a safer world. This guy's so full of shit. Easy push button answers coming from Republicans. The Biden administration has boosted exports of liquefied natural gas to Europe after Russia, one of the continent's largest suppliers of energy, invaded Ukraine. Democratic President Joe Biden has also said that coal, oil, and gas will be part of America's energy supply for years to come. Well, President Joe Biden doesn't sound like he's optimistic and enthusiastic over the Green New Deal, over the Green Movement. That's probably because he's an establishment Democrat who is also on the take from the mega rich and corporations that have donated to his campaign. And he owes big favors in return. Scientists overwhelmingly agree that heat-trapping gases released from the combustion of fossil fuels are pushing up global temperatures, upending weather patterns around the globe and endangering animal species. But the solution, long touted by Democrats and environmental advocates, government action to force emissions reductions, remains a non-starter with most Republicans. Enter the idea of planting 1 trillion trees. A 2019 study suggested that planting trees to suck up heat-trapped carbon dioxide from the atmosphere could be one of the most effective ways to fight climate change. Well, that's true. Major conservation groups and former President Donald Trump, who downplayed humanity's role in climate change, embraced the idea. Yeah, because Donald Trump was buddy-buddy with the crown prince, right, of Saudi Arabia, and all the oil that they were all interconnected. But the tree planting push has drawn intense pushback from environmental scientists who call it a distraction from cutting emissions from fossil fuels. The authors of the original study have also clarified that planting trees does not eliminate the urgent need to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Planting 1 trillion trees would also require a massive amount of space, roughly the size of the continental United States, and more trees could even increase the risk of wildfires by serving as fuel in a warming world. In other words, it is definitely not a quick fix, and I could have guessed that. And here's a photo. I'm not going to go on and on and on. Here's a photo of Douglas fir seedlings, a beautiful tree, very aromatic pine tree. Douglas firs, Fraser firs, among the best trees during the winter solstice Yule season. All right. Douglas fir seedlings at New Mexico State University's John T. Harrington Forestry Research Center in Mora. All right. No, it's not a quick fix. NBC people, not by a long shot. Okay. Oh, this is from CNN. Um, now that stupid Barbie song is playing in my head. I don't know, the one from the 1990s, I think. It's really ridiculous. The Barbie world, so ridiculous. Guy who sings it sounds like a real fruit booty. Fruit booty. Okay. What record warm ocean temperatures could mean for hurricane season? All right. And there's a photo of what? People walk past destroyed houses and businesses in the aftermath of Hurricane Ian in Matlacha, Florida on October 1st, 2022. All right. Well, they say it's going to get worse. The hurricane season of 2023 is going to be really bad because of the I guess the El Nino in the Pacific Ocean and the very unusual warm temperatures in the North Atlantic, which the sea temperatures in the Atlantic pretty much are what determines the strength of the hurricanes, because the hurricanes take place when wind blows the hot air over the Sahara Desert in North Africa and blows it westward over the Atlantic Ocean, where the temperature of the Atlantic collides with the temperature coming from the Sahara, bombarding me with all kinds of friggin' no. Yeah, forget about the editors. No. The Atlantic hurricane season is headed into uncharted territory with water temperatures in the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico warmer than they have ever been on record. Seasonal forecasters are warning it means you need to prepare for a more uncertain forecast for the rest of the season, with the potential for more storms and stronger ones. Okay, and there you see the Caribbean. Well, not the whole Caribbean, but you see the Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean with Florida. Over here, the I get the Gulf of Mexico, they call this Straits of Florida or something, separating Florida and Cuba. Sea surface temperatures around parts of Florida and the Bahamas are warmer than 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Wow. That is extremely hot. That's like a bathtub, shown here in shades of purple. Okay, so the water around the Bahamas, I'm not sure if you can see my cursor, and the Florida Keys, which are tip of Florida, and some parts of South Cuba. Well, actually, it goes down to northern Cuba here, and a couple tiny sections of the Gulf of Mexico, 90 degrees. Incredible. Warm ocean water is one of the key ingredients for fueling hurricanes, and it's been in abundance so far this year. Scientists first sounded the alarm in April, and the ocean warmth has only escalated since. Water in the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic has been record warm, especially for this early in the year. It includes off the coast of Florida, where water temperatures in the Florida Keys were close to 97 degrees in some spots last week. I'm telling you, it's like entering the ocean and feeling like you're taking a bath or going into a hot jacuzzi. Almost 100 degrees is unheard of. This is very serious. You hear that, Republicans? Capitalists who is causing this destruction of our planet? It is important because warm ocean water breeds stronger, bigger, and wetter storms. It gives hurricanes the energy they need to grow and sometimes rapidly intensify. Something hurricane forecasters told CNN we could see more of this season. Hasn't even started yet. Warm oceans can also lead to more evaporation and bring out more rainfall falling from any storms. Well, that means torrential floods, devastating floods, not to mention the stronger winds. Mr. Asshole personified, Governor Ron DeSantis, doesn't know what he's in for. Come, when does hurricane season really start? Late August, right? Into the fall. But hurricane season predictions involve more than just warm water. It's just one factor in the birth and survival of tropical cyclones, and it is creating more uncertainty than usual in what could happen the rest of the hurricane season. Uncertainty, uncertainty, uncertainty. That's really the story going forward with this season. Dr. Phil Klotzbach, a research scientist in the Department of Atmospheric Science at Colorado State University. Klotzbach and the team at CSU are some of the pioneers of long-term hurricane season outlooks and just increased the number of expected hurricanes and major hurricanes in their prediction for this season due to the warmer water in the Atlantic. That's what I was saying before I read the article. Okay. Colorado State University Atlantic Hurricane Forecast 2023. Named storms. Issue date. Okay. July 6th. 18. The average going from 1981 to 2010 were 12. All right. Hurricanes, actual bona fide hurricanes, which starts with Category 1. The date issued for this prediction is also July 6th, 9. The average from 1981 to 2010 is 6. Okay. Major hurricanes. These are the big kahunas. Okay. It's predicted that we will have 4 major hurricanes. These are the super destructive ones. And the average between 1981 and 2010 are 3. And then it mentions the effect of El Nino. Which typically suppresses activity in the Atlantic with increased wind. Well, I know one thing's for sure. It affected the trade winds. We don't have the trade winds in the Atlantic like we normally should. Yeah, bad situation. A very bad situation indeed. Let me catch up with Gunner. What do you think about Richard Feynman and other old school physicists? Are current scientists morons compared to them? Um, well, the best scientists are the ones whose predictions become a reality, and whose science fiction becomes science fact. Depends on their record. Depends on their records. You know, why is Nostradamus so damn famous? Because he hit the nail right on the head so many times. I don't know. I really don't know, but I know we need all of them. We need all scientists collaborating together as a team. That's how they dealt with any crisis. Who would win in a fight between Ron DeSantis and Governor Newsom from California? You mean in a physical fight like MMA, or you talking about like an election? In an election, in a campaign, Governor Newsom. In a fight, Governor Newsom looks much more physically fit overall than Chubsy Ubsy Ron DeSantis. Even though DeSantis would be able to outshout him, you know, with his big foghorn leghorn. Foghorn leghorn. I'll say this, son. I say, I know Chicken Hawk. Oh, well, this is not good. You know, getting back to Florida, you know how so many brain cell deficient humanoids have let loose exotic creatures into the wild that are become invasive species in Florida, causing severe harm to native flora and fauna. Well, here we go again. Oh, excuse me if my throat sounds a little raspy. Could be the allergy. I think there's still more particulates in the atmosphere from the Canadian wildfires. That's what they're saying, and I think it's true. Between that and hay fever, allergic reactions. Invasive green anacondas pose new threat to Everglades ecosystem. Oh boy, the largest snake in the world, just edging out the reticulated python, the green anaconda. That's all they need. It's bad enough they have the Burmese pythons. Florida Everglades have been home to various invasive species over the years, but a new concern is rising with the increasing sightings of green anacondas in the region since the year 2000. Oh, yeah, that's enough time for them to bang out a lot of baby anacondas because they're anacondas are live bearers. They don't lay eggs. You just bang out the babies, give birth, right, fresh from the mother's coochie. These enormous snakes, native to South America, have captured the attention of experts and sparking worries about their impact on the delicate ecosystem. Okay, Florida. Andrew Durso, a biology professor at FGCU, shed light on the green anaconda's characteristics, stating, "It's the world's heaviest snake. They're native to South America. They're a giant constrictor." Yeah, well, you've seen the movie. Of course, the horror movie with Jennifer Lopez is, and I think her current husband was in it. Affleck. Ben Affleck. I'm thinking of the insurance commercial with the duck. The males can grow up to 15 feet and weigh over 100 pounds. That's not what I hear. I hear they can easily reach 30. While females can reach staggering lengths of up to 26 feet, with the maximum recorded weight being a jaw-dropping 440 pounds. Oh, when that wraps around you, you're done. You're a goner. You're a goner. I don't think people have the strength to untwine the 440-pound snake from around you. Unravel, rather. What sets green anacondas apart from other invasive snakes like pythons? It's their build. Yeah, they're well built. Pythons are long, anacondas are fat. The presence of smaller anacondas, even juveniles, in the wild suggests the possibility of reproduction, indicating a worrisome trend. The concern surrounding the green anacondas centers on their invasiveness and potential impact on the Everglades. Yeah, well, they'll love the water and they're excellent swimmers. With reports of these snakes found away from civilization, there is a growing fear that their population might be larger than expected, and they could disrupt the already fragile balance of the ecosystem. Yep. Well, without going on, you definitely have the gist. You definitely got the gist of this problem. That's for damn sure. You see, I think most problems in life, as well as most problems on the planet Earth, are caused by despicable humans, humanoids. They are avoidable problems, and they just continue. They continue without end. Oh boy. Okay. Well, this might be. This is definitely a consumer oriented article. A Chiseler's Hall of Shame inductee. Okay, from the New York Post. Okay, here we go. Las Vegas airplane passengers faint while waiting for takeoff in scorching 111 degrees weather without air conditioning. All right. And this is several people passed out Monday while waiting for their airplane, which had no air conditioning despite a sweltering 111-degree heat wave, to take off from a Las Vegas airport. That also meant that the tires of the airline are sitting on even higher temperatures. Passengers aboard a Delta Airlines flight to Atlanta were taxiing at Harry Reid International Airport behind over a dozen other planes when the pilot announced the plane had to turn around due to multiple emergencies. Fox News reported, citing Fox Field producer Krista Garvin, who was on the flight. Shame on you, Delta Airlines. What the hell is this shit? You see what they're doing? They're bombarding me with advertisements. Several passengers had passed out and some had even soiled themselves, sending frenzied flight attendants running up and down aisles with oxygen tanks. At least 5 people were wheeled off the plane on stretchers. Hey, do I see lawsuits in the foreseeable, very near future? And the pilot instructed passengers to hit your call button if you have a medical emergency. Flight attendants also fell ill during the 4 hours the group was held on the hot idling plane. 4 hours? No wonder there were medical emergencies. Yeah, I definitely see lawsuits. At least one was wheeled off the plane on a stretcher while wearing an oxygen mask. Passengers were given the option to disembark the plane, but were told if they left, it could take days for them to be booked on another flight to Atlanta. Well, Delta Airlines, you are definitely inductees. Oh, leave me alone, TikTok. You are definitely inductees into the Progressive Discussions Chiseler's Hall of Shame. 4 hours of 111 degrees with no air conditioning. Several people passed out Monday while waiting for their Delta airplane. Thank God. Here's some photos. I don't understand why they would keep the passengers on a plane with that temperature with no air conditioning 4 hours. They're going to get hit so bad with lawsuits. No wonder these poor people couldn't breathe. At least 5 people were wheeled off the plane on stretchers, and the pilot instructed passengers to hit your call button if you have a medical emergency. Well, of course, 4 hours at 111 degrees. Look at this. While many chose to stay, temperatures remain high. That Monday, the temperatures were between 111 and 115 degrees. How could you sit in a hot aircraft that hot and be able to breathe for 4 hours without having a medical emergency? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Okay. I'm trying to see if no. I don't want that. I don't want that. Well, this is an amusing article, but true. But it gives me a chance to say something, to joke around, and to bash the main topic based on the photograph. Uh, okay, here we go. The public pool in Astoria, Queens in 2021. The pool is closed this summer for renovations. Renovations. Can you imagine how much urination? Forget about renovation. Can you imagine how much urination takes place in a public pool, especially in New York City? All those kids peeing at the same time. Why America stopped building public pools? Do you have to be told why? Growing up not me, I mean, Nathaniel Meyerson of CNN. Growing up in Louisville, Kentucky. Oh well, not Nathaniel Meyerson. I'm sorry, Jerome Sutton. Okay, growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, Jerome Sutton looked forward all week for his chance to swim at Algonquin Park Pool on the weekend. It was like Christmas in the summertime, said Sutton, now 66 and a local minister. It was the best time of the week. Yeah, that's because people were not degenerate, dysfunctional pigs and slobs back then. They had what was called manners and respect. Otherwise, they get the shit kicked out of them by their parents. Okay, this included Louisville public parks were desegregated in 1955, a year before Sutton was born. This included the newly built Algonquin outdoor swimming pool on the west side of Louisville. It cost 35 cents to swim at Algonquin at the time. Gee, I swim every damn day when the weather's warm for that price, Sutton said. And he and his 7 siblings took turns going on alternating weekends because the family could not afford to send all 8 children at the same time. Yeah, well, I guess the average wage back then was also very low, but it was the prosperity years of the 1950s, the Eisenhower years. So well, first of all, if a man does not have a good paying job, what is he doing having 7 children? It's very irresponsible. Right? 8 children. I'm sorry, 8 children. If you can't afford 35 cents times 8, he shouldn't be having 8 children. It's totally insane. You know, these people that take everything in the Bible, like especially the Old Testament, where the right-wing evangelicals only pay attention to the Old Testament. They cherry pick what they like. I mean, be fruitful and multiply. They're taking that way too literally. I mean, if you don't have a pot to piss in, or if you don't have a pool to piss in, you don't have 8 children. We would go swimming. That makes a big statement. against segregation, he said. There was an organized effort on the part of government to keep children engaged with an activity. Public pools have played a critical role in American culture over the past century, but as climate change and extreme heat worsen, they are taking on an urgent public health role. Heat kills more Americans than any other weather-related disaster, according to data tracked by the National Weather Service. I think this article is going in a different direction. I don't think it's public urination. It says here, a drained swimming pool shows how racism harms white people too. Yet, just as public pools become more important than ever, they're disappearing from sight. Pools have become harder to find for Americans who lack a pool in their backyard, can't afford a country club, or don't have a local YMCA. A legacy of segregation, the privatization of pools, and starved public recreational budgets have led to the decline of public places to swim in many cities. If the public pool isn't available and open, you don't swim, Sutton said. Why? You soak in the bathtub with cold water. And you play with your rubber ducky or your little plastic boat. It says here, swimming is mental health. Well, I will say this. In Cabo San Lucas, which is at the tip of Baja, Mexico, the hotel I stood in had an in-ground pool. And the desert heat was so strong. And this includes another hotel in Bahia de Los Angeles, right before the beginning of the Sea of Cortez, on the east coast of Baja. Okay, again, the desert temperature was so intense that going into the pool was like taking a bath. Not refreshing at all. You were better off just taking a shower, a cold shower, if you can get cold water out of the shower. And they're talking about kids missing out on learning how to swim, having something meaningful to do during the summer vacation, fitness classes, blah, 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 blah. Swimming is mental health, it's therapy. Oh, it's fantastic. Exercise that is involved with swimming is number one. Especially like for the elderly, they have these classes where they do certain exercise with these foam exercise tools in the pool with an instructor. I highly recommend it, but not in a public pool outside that feels like a bathtub that's crowded with kids that are constantly pissing in the damn pool. And then they show an area. What's it say here? How black beaches became white wealth in the coastal South. In other words, the low-income kids, African-American kids, really don't have any place to go. That's what they're saying in the summer, where the white families that own homes have in-ground pools, because they have to, because they're living in the South. Okay, whatever. Let's see what we got here. This talks about extreme temperatures that's going on. The Middle East had the hottest recorded temperature on the planet Earth. It even blew away Death Valley, California. It blew away 130 degrees Fahrenheit. I think this was over 150 degrees. Yep, it certainly was. Yeah, we're almost done with the topics. Won't be too long. Okay. The heat index reached 152 degrees in the Middle East, nearly at the limit for human survival. Okay, well, that little bottle of drinking water is better than nothing, but a man pours water on his head to cool off during a heat wave in Tehran, Iran, on July 11th. As the northern hemisphere approaches summer's peak. That's right, the dog days of summer are closing in. We're in it right now. That's when my birthday takes place, during the dog days of summer. Summer's peak. Heat is testing the limits of human survival in Earth's hottest spots and demonstrating the extremes that are increasingly possible and probable against the backdrop of accelerating global warming. In recent days, China set an all-time high of nearly 126 degrees Fahrenheit, while Death Valley hit 128 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, so the news media rounded it off to 130. Yeah, typical carnival barkers of the American news media. Too shy of the highest reliably measured temperature on Earth, Phoenix experienced a record-breaking 19th consecutive day at or above 110 degrees Tuesday. And in the Middle East, the heat index reached 152 degrees Fahrenheit, nearing or surpassing levels thought to be the most intense the human body can withstand. And here we go. It's a little map. Persian Gulf International Airport in Iran reported a heat index of 152 degrees Fahrenheit, which is equivalent to 66.7 degrees Celsius during this day at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Those are intolerable conditions for human and animal life. There's a map. It says water temperatures were 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I guess this is the, down here, it says here, this is the United Arab Emirates. I'm not sure what we're looking at here. If this is supposed to be like water, either the Persian Gulf or the Red Sea or the Indian Ocean, why couldn't they make it blue? Oh, man. Anyway, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Thank you, capitalist right-wingers, for thinking that you can live on money no matter what. Well, guess what? When the planet Earth is dying, you will sadly learn that you cannot eat money. You billionaires will be living on borrowed time. You may survive longer than the mainstream population, Well, I take that back. You will survive longer than the mainstream population, but your time will come. The sands of your hourglass will rapidly fall, and time will tick away because when the shit hits the fan, you're not even gonna have shit to live on. Okay. Well, this article is based on a gradual event. Let me see if I can do this quickly. Hmm. The sixth mass extinction event will be worse than first predicted. All right. Um, the report argues that nearly half of the planet's animal species are now in decline. But unlike past mass extinctions, this one has been entirely caused by humans. See what I was talking about later? Yeah. Entirely caused by humans. You got on the numbers on the left, percentage of the species, increasing, stable, decreasing, unknown. Insects, forget it, are plummeting. Fish, uh, they're all plummeting. Amphibians, mammals, birds, reptiles. Tragically, the global mass extinction event that we find ourselves in the midst of will be even worse than originally predicted, according to a recent study. The international team of scientists came to their conclusion after analyzing population trends data for more than 71,000 animal species, including mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, fish, and insects from around the world to see how their numbers have changed since record keeping first began. Well, without getting too scientific, and being that I'm running out of time for the serious topics, um, they are declining. Animal extinctions and the declining of life on our planet, including global deforestation and the planet's freshwater consumption and food production. Everything is going down. Everything is diminishing, and it's all caused by the evil, selfish, greedy, despicable mankind. Yeah, warning that biodiversity is on the brink of an extinction crisis. I'm just reading different. There's something. All right. Currently, 40% of all land on Earth has been altered specifically for food production to support the growing human population. Okay, agriculture alone is responsible for 90% of global deforestation. And that's why we have climate change. One of the reasons, aside from pollution from big oil, the other reason is deforestation, which uh, vegetation, trees, are the lungs of the planet Earth. The rainforests are the lungs of the planet Earth. And this is 50% of the reason, maybe a little more, or a little less, for climate change and global warming. It's a bad situation, real bad situation. I don't mean to rush through it, but I have to do things within a time frame. Sometimes I have less articles to go over, and sometimes I have more. Okay, air quality worsens again. What was that? What was I saying before? That you can't, the throat and the nose doesn't lie. Air quality worsens again as Canada wildfires smoke returns to the United States. Oh boy. And what are they giving me? They're throwing advertisements that I can't get rid of. Oh. Oh, this is not nice when they put advertisements in front of you that you can't close. Well, guess what? I can't read the article thanks to the greedy, pushy, overbearing sales tactics of the New York Times. Fuck you, New York Times. I'll throw you in to the Chiseler's Hall of Shame. I couldn't read the article, but you got the gist of it. You got the gist of it. The wildfires in Canada have not ended yet. There are still particulates in the atmosphere. And that's why I'm rubbing my nose and sneezing occasionally, more often than other times, and why my throat is irritated. So the tea's not helping me. Maybe an ice cold craft beer from Germany, a good lager, an Oktoberfest lager will help my throat. Good morning, my dear Masumi from Japan. Masumi, good morning and happy Monday to you. It is probably 5:07 a.m. Monday in the Tokyo region where you live, and I hope you're feeling well today. And good morning to Masumi. Thank you for stopping by to say hello from Japan. Right? Okay. Bear with me because it is now time to bring on my panelists. And starting with my right-hand man, the one and only, my co-administrator and co-host from Chicago, Illinois, Mick Von Raven. So bear with me. Bear with me. Mick Von Raven. Mick Von Raven. There he is. Mick Von Raven. Von Raven. His name is Von Raven. Mick Von Raven. Let me just throw out the link to some more people. Um, hmm. What are you gonna do? That's enough. That's enough. Oh, you're very welcome, Masumi. You're very welcome. You are very welcome. Bear with me while I'm partaking in this little intermission. And reaching out to my panelists. Okay. Okay. Now we sit tight and wait. Thank you. I mean, you're very welcome. Mesum. Uh, unless you would like to come on, you would like to come on and share a few things about what's going on in Japan with the weather, climate change, you know. But as I currently await my panelists, so everyone, the serious half of progressive discussions, the serious topics are over and done with. So what do you feel like talking about? This is an open topic segment of progressive discussions that I call Red Pill Man Cave, and you can discuss anything you want. Whoever happens to be out there who wants to bring up the subject in the comments area can do so, and I will display your name and comment across the lower half of the video and address what you are saying. And taking from a couple of the articles, yes, we are going to have a very bad, severe hurricane season. We just don't know how bad. And that's the problem. But, you know, the evidence does not point in a positive direction. I mean, some parts of the Florida, South Florida waters and the Caribbean have a water temperature of 90 degrees. 90 degrees. That's like taking a bath in the wintertime almost. Those with in-ground pools, I know, have hot water that is not refreshing to get into. Believe me. I have been in a very hot area and entered a swimming pool that felt like a bathtub, and it is not refreshing. You will not cool off in a swimming pool with a very warm temperature. If it's 90 degrees outside, let's say you're having a heat wave and it's 90, 97, even 100 degrees. Whether it be dry or whether it be with the heat index, with the humidity. If the water temperature is 72, 73, 75, you will cool off. You will feel you will feel refreshed. But once that water temperature starts climbing close to 80 degrees, you know, I mean, it's not going to feel that great. I mean, it's still going to be better than sitting, lying, or standing out in the hot sun in the 97-degree temperature, especially with humidity, especially. It's still going to be better, but it's not going to be the same. Uh, hold on for a second. It's just not going to be the same. As a normal temperature. Well, oh man. Oh, hello. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Bart Robinson. I take it you are trying to survive the heat wave or are surviving the heat wave. I just simply go from one air conditioning building to another, to an air conditioned free shuttle bus, to an air conditioned car transportation, to an air conditioned supermarket, so on and 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 so on. Oh, look who's here from all the way from. Oh, what happened? Hello? Is your microphone muted? Is your video muted? Okay. Uh, uh, hello? 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 Ah, bitch. My voice is going back. Try again. Yeah, he has the misfortune of owning an iPhone, an Apple product, because you get dicked around. Yeah, the cheap owner. Well, that means I ain't gonna. Where'd he go? The cheap. Hello. Hello. I don't hear you. Check your microphone. Check your. The earbuds again are doing this, huh?
It's I blame the service more than the product.
Yeah, because Paul Mantia did a live stream on his iPad, and he got new Verizon fiber optics, FiOS fiber. What happened? What's going on here, man?
I'm here. I'm trying to check my earbuds.
Oh.
Apologies.
Oh, hello.
Hi, I'm here. Hold on. Let's see.
No, not you. Masumi's trying to come on, but she has to. You got to check your microphone and.
I'm back.
Not you. Her.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Oh, now you're crystal clear. Like what I was saying is that it was perfect. He was coming on. He was coming on with his iPad, and the high definition quality of the video and the audio was perfect.
Nice.
And so it means that it might not be the Apple products. It might be the damn internet service.
Yeah.
Hello?
Interschmet.
Interschmet. Internet. Interschmet.
Yes, internet interschmet.
Anyway, I wonder why what's going on? Yeah, she's having. Well, she's coming. She's coming into the studio, but the audio and the video's not working. Anyway, what I was doing is, all right,
Yes,
Bart
sir.
Robinson. I just left the gym. The cheap owner keeps it too hot in there. Tell him to go fuck himself. Nobody's gonna work out without the central air conditioning cranked up. You know? I mean, come on,
You could have heat
come on.
stroke in a gym. You don't want that.
Hello, Masumi, you're there. You have to check your microphone and your video. Make sure nothing is muted.
Yes, exactly.
And of course, he's wealthy as hell. You know what? You tell him you tell him that you're showing contempt for your members of the gym. Your members are paying a fee. They're
Exactly.
and they should be comfortable. Nobody wants to work. Would he work out in a hot gym and pass out?
No, no, thank you.
I don't think he would if he's wealthy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Scumbags. You see how the people in business are that have money? Pieces of shit.
Yes. So I was telling you on the phone, James. Facebook did me a favor, suspended me just for the weekend because I didn't follow their guidelines. I don't even know what they're talking about, but
What is their guidelines?
yeah, their guidelines are we'll suspend you whenever we want and just blame our phony standards, our all that bullshit, our community standards, which don't apply to us but apply to you.
Yeah, that's what they are. It's bullshit.
Hypocritical fuck faces is what they are.
I don't think
Sucker, sucker,
because
fuckerberg.
like YouTube took off the show I did with Paul last night, but Twitter is there. Twitter is fine. So they took off,
YouTube removed the show.
yeah, because a copyright. But Paul's playing the music. Right now, Paul says they already have tribute bands with videos on YouTube. They already have like cover bands and tribute bands. Why are they picking on us? Paul is singing the songs. The songs are copyrighted, but Paul is singing and playing. Like why? If there's tribute bands that are allowed to have their videos on YouTube, why are they taking ours off? If
Because
Paul,
because you didn't pay YouTube or some bullshit. Maybe it's a payola scam.
fuck them, these greedy capitalist scumbags.
Exactly.
I'll be
The worst
refreshing.
thing that I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just reading what Bart said. I'll be
Yes.
refreshing with some cheap beer though, and a steak dinner at my brother's.
Your brother, your
Brother,
brother from the same mother.
brother from the same mother. I'll be drinking some. I'll be drinking some Founders, some ice cold Founders, craft lager beer Marzen, some Marzen.
No dirty bastard for you by Founders.
No, I don't have
Dirty bastard. It's like 8% a beer.
what
So
is it? An IPA?
I don't recall, but it was Founders made and it was good. So yeah, YouTube was good until Google bought them. Instagram was good until Meta bought them. It's always the same. They buy it when it's successful and then mismanage it. You're a
Now,
bit of a blur right now,
how I
James.
blurt it out. I'm being sabotaged by the pieces of shit. Why am I
Right?
still a blur? Why is my blur not? There it goes. You know
How
what?
weird of it.
Ronald Tyrio's new high definition webcam does the same thing.
Put you in a
It
blur
like
for a bit.
it has this automatic focus that
Wow.
that now why can't that just I don't know. Yeah, I can't drink cheap beer because it gives me heartburn, which I have now, but I didn't drink any cheap beer. I had, I don't know. Sorry, I don't understand how to do it, but I tried now. Well, what you do is you click on the link, and I saw you came in, and you just have to make sure that your microphone and audio is not turned off.
Now you're delayed. Your photo's delayed, but there you go. You had a little hiccup. Just an FYI. The old talking head.
Oh, his name is Brent. Yeah, Brent, you're a piece of shit. Okay, yeah. What you got to do is when Masumi, when you come on, there's a little. I don't know if she's gonna say the asterisk, not asterisk, a rotary symbol,
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like an asterisk almost.
and there's a drop-down menu, and that's where you could check your camera. And
5.
I got
Get that.
heartburn, man.
Oh, I'm
I got
sorry
a
to hear
40.
that.
I got a. You know what? Let me go get the beer and dump this chai tea with peppermint. Maybe that's what's giving me
Possibly, yeah.
40-ounce Colt 45. Oh, is that cheap beer?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
all
malt
right.
liquor. It works quicker.
It's like a ghetto beer, right?
Yeah, it's get your 40 ouncer. Old English 800 is another popular one. You
Yeah.
drink that. That's another cheap, quick buzz.
Uh, yeah, Colt 45, Old English. They're malt liquors. I know that in in minority neighborhoods they tend to put up billboards
Excuse me.
advertising malt liquor.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, like
So I successfully started my new job last week, and it went well. So I've got 1 week under my belt, and I'm glad to have moved on because the other place they took a pay cut, so they did me a favor when they laid me off. So I'm happy. So how did you do your thing yet, James?
the serious part of the show.
No, get your beer and dump your tea.
Oh, I gotta go. I gotta go. All right, I need a minute intermission,
Okay,
and I'll be back with the beer.
I can
And
chatterbox for a minute.
yeah. Oh, I was some of the articles I was talking about how the highest temperature in recorded human history took place in at the airport in Tehran, Iran, of 152 degrees Fahrenheit,
Holy shit!
and that beat out
That's deadly. That's a deadly temperature. Could
that's
kill people.
what they were saying, and that beat out Death Valley, California, which was 128 degrees.
God, that's so sad to
Oh,
hear.
Brent is your brother. He doesn't own the gym. Okay, got you.
Whoops. All right, bro. Do your thing. I'll chatterbox. Go help yourself
Oh,
out.
oh, you can chatterbox about. You know who was enrolled into the Chiselers Hall of Shame? Delta Airlines. 5 people passed out aboard the airline getting ready to fly to Atlanta, Georgia, because it was 111 degrees in the cabin and they did not have the air conditioning on.
Hmm. Cheap, cheap.
And 5 people were taken out with oxygen masks.
Wow, how horrific. Yeah, that's corporate greed for you right there. I did want to mention I am reading Geezer Butler's new autobiography, Into the Void. One of my neighbors was kind enough to loan it to me, and it's just mesmerizing listening to the story of his upbringing, his roots. He was the main lyricist and bass player for Black Sabbath for many, many years. And just reading some of it gave me goosebumps. It gave me chills. That's a good book. Great books, man, when they really move you and make you think about things. But as far as corporate world, the corporate world cares about only one thing. Oh, it says my we're having a problem connecting. I don't know what that means. Maybe with YouTube or something. But so far so good on my end. Corporate greed doesn't mind if people die as long as there's a profit. That's been around that way since, you know, they started the free market. Anything to make a buck, whatever sacrifice, none too great for the cause of the mighty banks and the rich and the top 1%. Um, I did hear something interesting from a Republican friend that he's afraid that there's going to be an impeachment try against Biden and that some of the Democrats are going to vote for it and then putting Kamala Harris in power.
God help us.
Yeah, it said we had some connection errors. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if it was connections to YouTube or wherever we're streaming this. Yeah,
Yeah,
it came up during when you were on your hiatus. I got a little bloop on the screen saying it was a connection problem. But
could be the heat
malt
wave.
liquor just means stronger beer. It's
Now,
sometimes stronger, sometimes cheaper.
you
Certain
know what I have against it? I have against it. Because that I don't drink. I despise macro corporate American beer. I despise. I consider macro beer to be
the opposite of microbrew, right?
preservative and chemical laden garbage.
Don't
Talk,
don't they make some beers with corn? Some of the cheaper beers,
oh, like high fructose corn syrup or just corn, like
something
genetic,
corn. Yeah,
genetic,
like
yeah, genetically
where they
modified corn. Right, exactly, exactly.
they use some like the like Miller Lite and Miller beer. I think I heard they use corn besides malt
And
and barley's.
cheap big agro rice, like cheap rice that has arsenic on it and maybe
And rat feces.
rat feces, pesticides, maybe a little Roundup here and there.
Oh man, yeah,
You know, they use corn. In other words, crap.
yes,
They use cheap filler.
exactly. Just like when you buy certain foods and it says in small print, pork, beef, and mechanically separated chicken. Yeah, that you gotta avoid. That's garbage meat. You
Or
know.
byproducts. Yeah,
Yeah, innards,
I don't
hooves
know
and snouts,
pigs and hooves and snouts and cock and
ears
pork and pig cock, pork
or
cock.
ears and brains and eyeballs.
I don't know. The eyeballs have to be clear. They have to be clear before they can puree it. Because once they like, if you buy nationally advertised roadkill hot dogs,
Oh yeah, you cut out for a minute, James.
if you buy somebody's trying to sabotage me. When you buy nationally advertised roadkill hot dogs, once you pate, once you puree or pate, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just
Yeah. Once you
clicked off on the screen. That's all.
once you pulverize any animal protein, not knowing what the hell it is, the only way you could tell what it is to bring it to a laboratory, and most
They call
Americans,
that's called mystery meat.
yeah, it could be anything.
Mystery meat for sale. Like love for sale. Mystery
Well,
meat for sale.
and they were saying that if with byproducts, it could be a pig could have like a cancerous tumor, and they'll grind that up.
Oh,
They'll,
delicious. It's always
they'll
great to
grind
eat tumorous.
yeah, they'll grind that up, and so it could be anything in this nationally advertised hot dog or bologna. Um,
That's why you
that's
got to
why
buy Vienna and Chicago, and then there's Nathan's, and also somebody else, National Sanini, isn't that or something like that? The Israeli beer. We got a nice beer there, a little Oktoberfest.
yeah,
Oktoberfest.
Marzen, Marzen
So
lager.
it's a wheat beer. Then, do you have any lemon in it?
No, no, no,
No.
no. I have lemon in the
So
freezer, but
Marzen is that a is what is Marzen? Remind me, please.
it's not a wheat beer. It's not a Hefeweizen. What do they call it? It's some.
Okay, okay,
It's a standard barley and hops and low.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so, yeah, barley, like they say in Boston, barley. Yeah, a macro.
Bali, Bali.
Now, who has the big hairy balls to at Budweiser to call themselves the king of beer? Who the hell? the king of
You
talk.
know, they make Budweiser in Germany differently. They have to file the German purity laws. So if you have to drink Bud, make them give you one from Germany. Because Budweiser in America, they call them butt wipers for a reason, because they make you sick.
Butt wipers. Well, I always get heartburn from American macro. German. Well, this is Founders. Founders.
Independent microbrew.
It's in Michigan. It's a craft beer in Michigan. From
Yes, exactly.
and they're following the Oktoberfest Marzen recipe, how they make it. It's a lager. It is a traditional lager of Oktoberfest, and
Nice.
that's why it comes in a beautiful orange can with the picture of the German village in Munich. It's probably Munich, and,
Nice.
it is very good as opposed to an American macro garbage that I flat out refuse to drink.
I think I may have showed this last stream. The Anchor Steam that's gone under because Sapporo bought them. Can you see that, James?
Yeah, let me give you the solo. Anchor
Yeah.
Steam bought out by
Such a great IPA. Real smooth, just a great beer since 1896. And Anchor Steam is being put out of business by Sapporo. Then here's another Bell's Brewing in Michigan. Oberon is their American wheat ale. It's a good summer ale. And then I might have mentioned this one. I've got, gosh, if I can get, I think I showed these last week. I apologize if I'm just going over the same thing, but Unibrow Brewing, it's the 9% beer, 9%. Yeah, you drink a couple 9% beers, you're done. You're well done. Just two of those.
What is that called? Fin de Blonde?
That's the name of this beer. It's Canadian.
You gotta put it face the oh, that's Canadian. La Fin de Monde.
Yes.
De Monde means
You gotta
world.
look at this is the brewer, if you can see that. Unibrow. Beer is very strong.
I think it's Univique. It's pronounced.
It's very strong. I like to drink like one or two of those and I'm set. It's really nice. You get a nice buzz. You don't get schnockered. You don't fall down. It's just a good feeling.
You don't get schnockered. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, you can come back to me. You can take me off solo.
Tomorrow.
I am working for a German company, by the way. Speaking of German purity laws, my company, I was working for Egetrans, and a lot of the instructions in German, and I'm like, what? I don't speak Becken Sie Deutsch.
I don't like that. I don't want to say it on the air. Off the air, we can talk. But anyway, yeah, you were telling me the story
about
off the air. Yeah, remember we were saying
about
about overtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to get into a conflict after the first week. We just want to ride the wave into payday. Yeah, you're being sabotaged. Your video is frozen, James.
Well,
I don't know if you can hear me, but
I mean, you're pixely. You're
wow, we're getting like, screwed 8 ways to Sunday.
No, it's the fact that they're probably forcing Safari. They're forcing you to use Safari, maybe.
Did Paul have to use Safari when streaming or no?
No, he used Google Chrome.
Well, I don't know. I never heard Safari cause problems. I don't know. I think it's the streaming service.
Safari's not compatible with.
I'm going upstairs to see if I get a better service because I'm in the basement. Sometimes the service is not good.
Everybody that comes on with an Android or a PC, there's no issue. It's just I used to have an iPhone and I used to curse at it every day,
Yeah,
And
when iPhones for some people, Samsungs for other. I had Samsungs and I did not like it at all. So to each his own.
I have no issues with my Samsung. That's the
I
thing.
I hated my Samsung and I was so happy to get rid of it. It's just a personal preference. That's all.
Maybe it was an older Samsung. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't like being forced to use Apple software and Apple this and Apple that, and they make you pay top dollar for everything, the accessories. And my brother-in-law's got iPhone, iPad, but I just don't get it. Like I don't get like somebody a people like if a person like doesn't mind the restrictions of having an Apple product. I mean, it
So
bugs
my stuff has been working out well for me. So I don't know which restrictions you're referring to. Is your brother-in-law have some problems with
streaming.
this?
In other words, you can surf the internet,
Hmm.
you can watch videos, you can instant message people, you can do basic things with no problem. But I'm talking about I don't know about gaming, but I'm talking about like with live streaming. This just it's something about Safari
Hmm.
that tries to override. It shouldn't override Google Chrome. Why should it override it? I don't.
Well, you know what? I've done some Facebook Live back in the day when I was at a concert and it streamed okay. So I'm not sure exactly. It's been doing me okay. Can you believe it's already close to August? I mean, time is flying. The summer has been just gone. It's going to be gone before you know it, and back on to
Yep.
winter. What the
And that
hell?
they anticipate hurricane season is going to be really bad.
No, but there's no such thing as global warming. Nope, nope,
Well,
nope. It's a
why,
hoax. It's a hoax.
how do you explain the beaches off South Florida being 90 degrees, the water, the ocean water being 90 degrees Fahrenheit,
God, is that sad? So
and
much, so much fish and other sea dwelling animals are going to be boiled alive.
the Bahamas too, the water is 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, that's horrible. How's
It
your
is,
heartburn? Getting better?
yeah, actually it is. It's crap.
Good, good, good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad to
crap.
hear it. Heartburn is nothing but a pain in the ass. I
Yeah,
don't get it
well
that much.
now they call it acid reflux.
Yeah, I don't get it that much, but when I do, I usually drink a lot of water. That helps me. When I have a heartburn, I have some antacids. I don't take them that much.
No, I don't take antacids anymore because I read the other ingredients in the antacid, and you got like all these artificial these of FDA approved artificial coloring and titanium this and blah 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 and all. You got these miscellaneous chemicals in there.
Yeah,
So
you don't. Not being a chemist, you don't know what they are. You just
well,
don't know what they are.
the main ingredient for being an antacid is calcium carbonate, which is the most basic form of calcium.
Yes.
That's not my problem. And the a little tiny bit of artificial sweetener. Well, sucralose is my problem, but I don't think they put really that much in there. And
Yeah, it's not.
the fruit flavor is not my problem. My problem is all
Yeah,
the
if
other.
there's aluminum in it, they have aluminum in a lot of shit. It's cause Alzheimer's.
Sure. Okay, Bart. Have a good one. Enjoy your Sunday by your brother's house and your steak dinner.
Sounds delicious. Hopefully, it's on the grill. Steak on the grill is just
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't have to go. You don't have to go out in the sun to the grill. Um,
I
because
was fascinated to hear. I didn't know, until I got older that Kingsford was that's Henry Ford's. I don't know if it's his brother or cousin. And they at the same time they came up with vehicles. They came up with charcoal, and the one took that business, and the other one took up with cars.
Yeah. Well, I prefer the. I used to use the old-fashioned wood charcoal. It's all like jagged pieces.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's more flavor in the smoke.
I didn't know that charcoal was wood based until later in life.
And
With a
yeah,
Google search.
and you know how I found out how if Kenny Rogers roasters they used to say it's the wood that makes it good. Well,
Yeah.
I went to a state park and I brought some charcoals, but I noticed there was a lot of like dry branches all over the place. It was like dry wood all over the place.
Yes.
What I did was I took it and I put it in the the steel cylinder with the handle where you put the
Yes, those are
newspaper.
the best, by the way. Those I usually use an electric wand and with those, and they work real well.
I just I get the hard matches from the dollar store, the old fashioned matches, and the wood matches, and you put some newspaper underneath it. It's I used to use the one made by Weber, and you light it. You light the newspaper, and no matter what is in the top, it turns cherry red with no lighter fluid
You
at all.
no, you don't want any lighter fluid on anything you
No,
eat.
you don't want that toxic gasoline smelling lighter fluid. And let me tell you, that invention turns the charcoals or I use wood that I found on the ground,
Wow.
dry wood that I guess when trees get old, they get brittle.
They go up real good.
And let me tell you, it barbecued not only our dinner, but I invited other people to come and use the barbecue that I had. It was still cherry red.
Wow, nice.
This was the wood from the park,
Nice.
and it was as red can be, and like my background, and it was good enough to just grill everybody's food,
Nice.
and there's really I would say if you can get firewood and it's properly like kiln
It's
K I
dried. It's got to
dried,
be, yeah,
yeah, kiln dried. It's properly dry, and you got to keep it dry too. Uh,
exactly.
you don't want termites coming or carpenter ants or you want to be able to use it. You don't want to get rotten. That is the
Exactly.
best for smokers and for barbecuing. The best.
Yeah, when I go to Wisconsin, I have a chimney and I have this thing called a wand. It's You put the wand in, you put all the charcoal in the chimney, and then you plug the wand in, and it heats up and starts the charcoal without the lighter fluid. It's awesome.
Oh, so you have the steel chimney.
Yes, and I have the electric wand that gets plugged in and gets it going. So that starts a nice barbecue. Well,
I
I'm getting
saw
hungry talking about barbecue.
I saw they have this little gadget I saw advertised on Instagram. It has like a piece of flint, flint rock, and you just go,
Okay.
you just one shot, bing, and it just the flame comes right out.
So you seen advertising on Instagram? I haven't seen it yet. Just like Facebook, that kind of advertising?
Infomercials.
Oh wow. They
Yeah,
pay the
go.
zuck. They pay the zuck and they give a fuck.
They 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 he is making money hand over fist from
We
a bombardment of advertisement that we have to endure.
Well, like I said, he was letting people advertise on Facebook that led to indentured servant jobs. These people were tortured and made to get involved in scams, and they were all advertised on Facebook.
Oh,
Facebook
you
doesn't care what they do.
mean human trafficking?
Yes,
Because
and he let it ride. He let it ride. He's a piece of shit.
he
He's a
is
motherfucker.
a
They should shut
scumbag.
Facebook down. They should force him to sell. He's got all his money. He should get out of it because he's not any good at it. If you ever notice, Facebook and all his interns they're going down. Facebook. I keep getting someone trying to get a new passcode to reset my password. When I ask for one, I never get it. But someone 6 to 8 times requested a new password, and it wasn't me. And and then they put me in this 2-day timeout. Whatever, Daddy-O. Good luck in your island occupation, taking over the world. I sometimes muscle memory has me clicking on Facebook, and I'm not even meaning to go there. That's bad, real fucking bad, because Facebook doesn't give a shit about me
Yeah,
or
I
anybody.
today I was clicking on links and it was sending me to Facebook. What the fuck is this?
Fuck that bullshit.
What the fuck is this piece of shit? When I first saw his face and the way he
He
talked,
looks like he's an android from fucking Star Trek Next Generation.
like he has no expression in his mouth.
No, and
It
his
wa-
booster seat. Yeah,
he
he's a motherfucker. He's a godless piece of shit that
now I
all the
know
cash only for him.
now I know why he had an army of bodyguards with him when he went to Washington.
Because probably people do want to kill him
He is really despised. I mean, you don't have to like get to know him
to hate him.
to hate his guts. He is very, very unlikable.
He's very much into authoritarianism, and he's like got the Napoleon complex. So he wants to come down on you, and it's just punishment without explanation is how you get blind leading.
And I heard he stole many ideas from people that he knew in college. And
Oh yeah, he's not an originator. He's an original scammer.
yeah, he
I
is. He's
I hate him.
like he's no better or worse, in my opinion, than Bernard Madoff.
Ponzi schemer guy.
Yeah,
Isn't he deceased? Hopefully,
I don't know, but he was in
I
prison.
think he is.
He was in prison for the longest time. He might have died, but
Yeah, I believe he did. Thank goodness. He was a real piece of human garbage.
cleaned out people's life savings left and right.
Ruined their lives left and right
And,
with pretending to be a confidence man, giving him information that led to their demise and his gain. What a piece of shit.
like
That
that
hey,
other,
hey,
like
just
that
like
other,
Zuckerberg.
and that other punk that was had a sarcastic smile on his face, smiling to the judge that went off on him. The one that was selling HIV drugs at insane astronomical prices.
Is that the guy that he bought a drug company and then raised the price like 400%? Yeah, he did go to jail, didn't he, for
Yes, he
fixing
did.
prices? Yeah, he thought he was above the law. So many of these white collar criminals think they're above the law. Like Donald Trump and is Jared Kushner and Don Jr. and them. They're all white collar criminals that think their crimes are victimless. You know,
Yeah.
that's not the case. And I know you saw that post that Republicans are so desperate to get something on Hunter Biden. Marjorie Taylor Greene was showing pictures of him nude, flashing around. That's pretty fucking desperate.
You know,
She's
you
a
know what?
mental patient in need of a doctor.
You know where Hunter Biden is? Hunter Biden is the great distraction of the Republican Party.
Yeah, they get all caught up in shit that don't matter. They've done it time and time again. Hillary Clinton's emails. Let's talk about that for 100 days straight. Yeah, leading to nothing. All roads lead to nothing. And I see the war in Ukraine is just as barbaric as ever. He bombed a church or something, or that's how desperate old Pooty is that he bombed a church.
He bombed the
Churches,
church.
yeah, while people were in it. Churches, hospitals, that kind of shit. He's
Easy.
into, yeah, and that repurposing and it's a form of genocide in a way
And
when you
terrorism.
change someone's nationality, and that he's doing something like that, like Hitler would have done. I don't know how. I hope those kids survive this. It's some of the worst things I've ever heard of. Talk about child abuse, taking someone from their home, from their family and telling them, no, you're Russian now, speak Russian. It's horrific war crime. I didn't even know that's how weak he is, that he's going after children, you know? Even Hitler didn't fucking go after children. So, when Hitler's got one up on you, you got to ask yourself, are you a piece of human garbage? Yes, you are. And I don't know. I'm
Total.
just I'm angry about hearing stuff like that. Very angry.
You know what? These people are sociopaths. They feel no remorse.
And what they do is reprehensible, and they can't. It just these kids have to be saved. I don't know why the UN isn't getting a delegation over there to get these kids back. He's doing it by the hundreds. He's grabbing tons and tons of these school kids and taking them from their homes and taking them to Russia. Probably because he's running out of people to be in his army. His army hates him. The Russian people didn't want this war. He's the only one that's for it. Most of them are against it. You know. So anyway, it's just
Well,
unbelievable.
um, yeah. They've been advertising a lot about the Wagner mercenaries
Yeah,
so,
that whole thing mystifies me. I don't really know what happened.
and
One minute.
supposedly Putin's moving a lot of nukes to Belarus.
Oh God, what a motherfucker! Yeah, those Wagner mercenaries were gonna kill Pussy, send a bunch of them die, and then discarded them and didn't act like they helped win anything. He disrespected them. He thought just because he was paying them, that main guy. I don't know how he's still alive. I forget what his name is. The one they kept showing, the bald guy. And I can't believe Putin hasn't had him executed for revolting.
I'm surprised that the Russian oligarch didn't like totally go ballistic on Putin for being responsible for getting their assets confiscated by the United
Yes,
States
and
military.
entering a war that appears that they cannot win.
No, because statistically, no organized military has been able to win in a guerrilla warfare. Look what happened in Vietnam. United
Yeah,
States, England, France, and the United States, all three got their asses kicked.
yeah. You go against guerrilla warfare, and they know the land, and you don't. You're in real fucking trouble.
Yeah, guerrilla warfare. They know how to get up. They know how to get around the urban area. They tunnel. They tunneled like in Vietnam in the jungle. There were tunnels everywhere. They used to pop out out of foxholes, like from the tunnels. And they know the terrain. They know the jungle. The same thing in Colombia. The civil war that goes on there. Those people know the jungle.
Yeah, they do definitely.
Oh, here's the one and only Ronald J. Terrio from southeastern Louisiana.
Greetings.
Hello, folks.
I guarantee.
No, that's Justin Wheelsy.
Yes.
I used to have a pair of red suspenders. I got rid of them. I should have kept them. I should have kept them. But how you doing there? How you feeling, Ron?
I feel fine. I was in Birmingham, Alabama yesterday.
Bama? You was in Bama?
No, he was in Alabama. That's what Al Jolson pronounced.
What is that? What is that song? Whamma Slamma Bama? I think it's a soul tune from Stax. Is that by Otis Redding? It's a great song.
I don't know.
You were visiting your daughter. She lives there, right?
Yeah, it's a 6-hour trip. It was wearing me out, but
6 hours both ways, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you at least sleep overnight to get some rest?
Slept overnight on Friday night. Drove to Meridian, Mississippi, and stayed over, and then I went to Birmingham, and we spent the afternoon, and then drove back all the way out in the evening, so I was tired when I got back. So y'all doing all right, huh?
Yeah, we started off talking about the highest temperature ever recorded in human
Okay.
history, 52 degree, 152 Fahrenheit
You
in
could
Iran.
seriously fry an egg on a car and cook some bacon on a car, top of a hood of a car, I bet, with that kind of temperature.
Yeah.
I thought, and then Delta Airlines had had passengers
Oxygen.
had passengers wait for 4 hours in 111
They're
degrees
crazy.
below.
Like that's insanity, you know.
Got
They're going to be sued and they're going to lose.
five
Yeah,
people
they're going.
had to get carried out with oxygen masks in Las Vegas airport. I mean, yeah, I definitely, the first word out of my mouth was lawsuits.
I think that kind of process would have worked well in Cambodia during the days of the Khmer Rouge, or Soviet Union, or
Well,
National Socialist Germany. Huh?
well, they're doing the same thing in Myanmar that they were doing in Cambodia.
Oh, that bad, huh?
They have human trafficking where they'll advertise for like a promising like career or something, and Southeast Asians would like get suckered in there, and they would kidnap them, and
Wow.
they would force them to be internet scammers or something. And
Yes, that was.
if they didn't do a good job, they would would harvest their organs and kill them, and sell their organs on the black market. It's pretty bad right now in Myanmar.
Good old Myanmar. Good old Burma.
No more Burma, yeah, and China says, well, we can't get involved because it's Myanmar. Well,
No, Taiwan's another story, but we can't get involved in that, you know?
Well, you know, China claims a lot of the land in Myanmar or Burma. It's both ways. You could say Burma or Myanmar, because the reason they have that problem is because when the British went there and took over, they asked the people that live there, because there's different tribes. It's not all the same people. They said, well, oh, what is the name of your country? And, you know, one group would say, Yum, Yum. And what's the name of your country? Burma. And they said, oh, Burma. Odd little name. But
yeah.
and then they said, Myanmar, that's too difficult. Well, we'll just say Burma. You know. And so then they, of course, the British left 76 years ago. 76 years ago.
What do they call the penal colony known as Australia? They call it the Botany Bay.
Well, that was the first settlement in Australia.
Botany Bay.
Australia is a lot like America, except Australia was founded by criminals. America was founded by religious refugees. Similar but different.
Well,
displacing locals.
Well, that depends on the colony, of course, you see, because Virginia was founded by entrepreneurs. They had no, you know, they weren't involved in a religious dispute at all. They just wanted to set up a plantation.
I'm talking about the original Americans on the Mayflower, and then also the original Australians
But Jamestown was the first colony in 1703. Yeah,
Jamestown, Virginia is the very, very first colony.
Yeah, and Virginia Dare was the first English child born in the New World. And but it's true. What you're saying is true. Then later on, the religious refugees went to Plymouth Bay Colony and Boston Colony, Massachusetts Colony.
Yeah, Miles
Standish. The point I'm making is that Americans and Australians both displaced indigenous people by going to those countries.
Oh, right. Well, they had a weak immigration policy. You see, the Indians weren't careful about immigration, so
they didn't care, and they paid dearly for it. Yeah. And the Aborigines also had a lot of their land taken from them. The Aborigines in Australia.
Oh yeah.
They were enslaved too. The Aborigines. But anyway, the Native Americans didn't say, "There is your papers."
Well, you see, that's the whole thing. They Oktoberfest. Yeah, that's a good one. That should be coming out around here pretty soon.
Yeah, that is your papers, and they and that image I used to see as a kid in school of Native Americans sitting at a table with pilgrims with the turkey and the sweet potatoes and everything. That was a bunch of hogwash.
Yeah, and they gave us tobacco. We gave them liquor and smallpox. Quite a nice exchange.
Yeah, well, that's what they
Well,
had.
don't say we. I had nothing to do with it. I was Louisiana was French.
I meant humankind. When I
Yeah.
say we, I say humankind. I don't mean anything but that. I meant
my-
Anglos.
Yeah, my family came over in the very early 20th century, and we had nothing
Mine
to do
came
with
later. Yeah,
We
mine
had,
came later. We never had slaves or anything in my
I
family,
was just
so
gonna
no
say,
reparations from me.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
just gonna say we weren't involved in the slave trade.
yeah. I'll pass on that one.
Hey, Ronald, are all those beers empty behind you on the wall there?
Most
Yeah.
Those are all empty, right?
most of the beers on the wall
Okay,
are empty,
gotcha.
but some of them are full of beer
Gotcha.
because I couldn't take the beer out of some of those bottles because well, I'll show you why I can't take the beer out.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? Mick Von Raven just got a case of Anchor Steam.
Anchor Steam. R.I.P. Anchor Steam, because a fucking Sapporo bought them and put them under.
Well, I think they were going down. I think Sapporo bought
Financially they were struggling, but still, certain beers should not be stopped because of financial reasons, and that's one of them.
I think what happened was the guy, Mr. Maytag. Yeah, that's right, and the name is correct.
He was a lonely repairman.
The Maytag guy owned Anchor.
Yeah.
He was getting old, and I think he could see the writing on the wall, which was, you know how in the Bible they had the story in Babylon where they had the writing on the wall? Well, I think he saw writing on the wall and it said, "You're going to go out of business soon if trends continue."
Yeah, they were struggling.
If trends continue. And so, Sapporo comes along, "Oh, very interested in beer company." And he says, "Oh, yeah, this is a fabulous beer company. Oh, I would never sell it. No way, boy." And they said, "Oh, we'll give you much money if you sell." He says, "Well, okay." He twisted my arm. "Here you go." And then he took off. And then they probably took over and looked at the financial sheet.
Books. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and then Sapporo was like, oh.
They bought a sinking product. Although Anchor Steam is a wonderful beer, I've been drinking it for years, and I'm sad to see it go.
They probably were like, "We put money on Bad Horse," So,
yeah.
But I don't get any pleasure out of them going out of business, of course, because I saw Anchor Porter yesterday, 6 packs of Anchor Porter. I said, could I buy it for one last go around? But it was too expensive, so I passed. All right, but here's the reason I can't open and pour the beer out, because of the shroud.
Now, is that tin foil and you're trying to save it?
Well, it's like
I see.
Foil cover paper. So if you twist the cap,
preserving it. Yeah.
And then it ruins the collectible appearance of it. I saved the bottle because it was unique. I don't want to ruin it. So it's still got beer in it, but I wouldn't drink beer from
I'm sure. It's probably something you could put in your gas tank at this point, right?
1996. I don't think I'll drink it. Oh, but anyway.
No.
Yeah. That's the reason.
How much were these 6 packs of Anchor Steam Port? Oh, that's cool. Very cool. The tin. Who had something similar was Michelob.
What is this Michelob?
I couldn't tell.
Because
of brightness.
Yeah. I got the lamps on. This is the Michelob 100th anniversary edition. Yeah.
Do you remember a Lowenbrow?
Sure.
That was a competitor of Michelob, was Lowenbrow.
Yeah, I used to have some bottles, but they got kind of deteriorated, so I threw them out. The Anchor Porter was like $12.99 for a 6-pack, and I was like, nah. I
mistakenly bought a 12-pack in Michigan for $21.99. I know they have a fee for the bottles in Michigan, but still, it was kind of a ripoff. I bought a Bell's beer, and it was Albron Ale. the summer ale they make, which is
Oh yeah,
delicious.
I've had that one. Yeah. So yeah, it's a shame about
Yeah, I like Bell's.
yeah, Bell's. Yeah, they sold
Yeah,
out to
Anchor Steam, it sucks.
Bell sold out
Who
to
did?
Bell's. They sold out to a Japanese company also because here's the problem.
Shit!
Here's the problem because James and I have talked about this. It's like Chinese restaurants. You got the people that own it. They're getting old. It's hard work. They tell the children, look, I'm getting old. I did this for 40 years. You can take over. And what did the children say? Oh, no.
I'm not going to put in.
We don't want to work.
I'm not putting in 80 hours a week.
Right. So Larry Bell said, look, I tried to get my family to take it over. I told them for years. Oh, no, they didn't want to do it. So he said, fine. The Japanese company came along and they said, we'll buy it. He sold it. And it was
it Sapporo's also?
No, it was actually Mitsubishi that bought it ultimately. You know.
Oh, wow.
You know,
God, that sucks.
And you know what sucks is that so many of these American craft breweries have a great product line. Like if you go to their websites and you just see the variety and the ingredients, the quality of the ingredients, and the beautiful artwork on their cans and bottles. It's like
they're unique recipes.
Yeah,
they're different brewmasters. It totally sucks.
But the bottom line is that the beer is not going to produce itself. And secondly, if it's a family business, you've got to have the family willing to run it. Now, the E&J Gallo Wine Company, I think they're headed for a trouble coming up because, you know, it started 90 years ago with two brothers. And now
Ernest and Julio.
Yeah. And now if you look at their website, they've got like 25 grandkids in the photo. We're the owners. Now, do you think those 25 people are going to be able to get along?
Well, they want the money. The kids usually want the money, not the work. Just like Portillo's in Chicago was sold. Famous, Chicago style fast food was sold to some investment company in Boston because Dick Portillo's, none of his kids were going to take over.
Yeah.
And it's a
so
shame.
You wonder what's going to happen with the Gallo family because y'all know that too many chefs spoil the pot, right? So,
doesn't anybody remember when it was in the 90s when all the beers the microbrews exploded? Remember Red Hook? Sure. I think didn't Budweiser buy them and help pull them under or something?
Well, yeah. What happened with Red Hook was they got into this collaboration with Anheuser-Busch where they were going to help them out. It's kind of like the British Empire. They would tell the British would tell different countries, "We'll help you out."
And become your leaders, yes.
Well, that meant that they were going to we'll send you troops and help you. Well, the troops, once they come in, they're not leaving, you know. So
exactly.
So it's like when you pay for protection.
Right. So Anheuser-Busch was like, hey, little buddy, we'll help you out. We're so interested in craft beer because you know us with Budweiser and everything. So Red Hook was like, well, I guess that would work out. And then Anheuser-Busch was like, we have this idea that maybe we could have a 33% stake in the company. And they were like, well, okay. And then you know what happened? Then they got 100% control, and now nobody can find Red Hook anywhere.
There was a good one out of Texas. I don't know if it was Austin or what. I can't remember the name of it. And that one came and went. So many of them came and went way too quick.
Well, talking about Texas, if you want to see a Texas craft beer that's still family owned, of course that could change tomorrow morning. It's been around since 1909. I'll go get a can and show it to y'all if you want to see it.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. You did a Texas beer theme.
Yeah.
You know what's a great craft brew that I hope never goes away? Sierra Nevada. That's a great one.
Still privately owned.
Thank God for that.
And I think Yinling is still family owned.
You know, a lot of the ciders now, everyone's coming up with cider. Not all of them are making them good. But I know that woodchuck cider used to be the number one, but they're too expensive.
Okay, let me cut the lamps off so that it doesn't glare. This company's been around since 1909. They were founded by German immigrants to Texas.
Oh,
Cosmo Spetzel. Cosmo Spetzel founded this company.
that's
Nice.
like the dumplings.
Yeah, and Spetzel is located, their brewery is located in Shiner, Texas.
Nice.
And we went out to that brewery, and it is so remote. I'm going to tell you, that is a long trip.
Cosmo Spetzel. I've had
Spetzel,
Spetzel many times. Very tasty.
Yeah, this is Shiner beer. So, but Shiner, Texas is the town, and Spetzel is the brewery. But their beer is called Shiner.
Nice.
Yeah, that was his theme. Wednesday, right?
Texas beers, yeah.
Texas beers, yeah. And then the first Wednesday of the month is Joker's Wild Wednesday. People can bring with
Any product. And then this Wednesday coming up is any beer from Abita Brewing Company. Abita. I don't know if New Jersey gets Abita beers. Guess maybe, but that's what's coming up Wednesday. Any Abita beer, doesn't matter.
I never heard of a Beta. What kind of beers do they have?
Vita with a B or a Vita like a Vita Perón of Argentina?
Letter A,
Yeah.
B as in
Oh.
butter. Abita. Abita.
Beta. Okay.
It's located in Abita Springs, Louisiana, where they got spring water coming out the ground, spring water, Abita Springs. And it's Louisiana's oldest craft brewery. It's been open since 1986.
Oh, wow.
1986, yep.
That means a lot. High quality water means a lot to any beverage.
Yeah, they got spring water there. And the original owners don't have it. They sold out to another Louisiana outfit called Blossman. Well, I think the Blossmans own a law firm, but I won't say anything. But anyway, yeah, it's still good beer.
Excellent.
The one of the articles I read described the new invasive species in Florida, in South Florida. Yeah, and it's going to surprise you because you would think that the Burmese python was bad enough. Now they have green anacondas, the heaviest snakes in the world.
Where are they coming from? South America?
Yeah.
From the year 2000, they were first spotted, and they don't lay eggs; they bear live young.
See,
wow!
I think these snakes crawl onto the ships, and
yes,
they go to Miami and drop off products, and then this snake goes into the land off the ship overnight while people
Yeah, they shouldn't allow that. They should search the ships.
Anacondas are really good swimmers. They like the water.
Yeah, they're big mothers. Aren't they like 20 foot long and 5 foot in diameter, 3 foot in diameter?
This lady I go out with sometimes, back in the 90s, she showed me a photo. She worked for a company called Monsanto. I know that's James's favorite company. But
yes.
But she was working for them. They had a refinery in Angola, in Africa.
Oh, jeez.
In Cabinda, and they took a photo of one of these. One of their African employees was taking a nap next to a tree, and an anaconda slithered up and bit him on the head, and then they cut the snake open, and the man was inside the snake. And she
alive?
Showed me the photo. Well, no, not alive. She showed me.
Yeah, I hear you.
She showed me the photo of the man just like
he's taking a nap. He was taking the great dirt sleep.
He was like,
yeah,
the snake.
Sounds really nasty. It's like
once
when they open up.
Once they grab you on your head, that's it. You're not getting away.
Yeah, it's like people get bears getting cut open and they find body parts or alligators or crocodiles. That's nasty stuff, man.
There's no anacondas in Africa, but there is a rock python that gets really big.
Well, whatever the snake was in Africa, it was
it might have been a rock python.
It was a big snake, and and the man was inside the snake. Now, what are the
How
three types?
horrible.
They have boa constrictors. They have
No, not boas. They have Africa just has pythons.
yeah.
But
So you got boa constrictors, pythons, and anacondas. So it had to be a
anaconda.
python. Yeah, a python.
Yeah, pythons. All these constrictor snakes have teeth. They go backwards. So when they bite, the teeth
It's like a
hooks
hook.
into
You
you.
can't get out. You can't get away. No.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what they found in Louisiana last week? I saw it on television. It was in the water next to Lake Charles, Louisiana, swimming.
What?
Pink dolphins. Remember I told you about the pink
Oh
dolphins?
wow, wow! Pink
Sounds
dolphin.
incredible.
I didn't think. I know the Amazon had them, and they're very endangered. But I didn't
Oh,
know
I'm sure they are.
they found
Anything beautiful's endangered.
them, and they're real pretty.
Look,
Sound
he was
beautiful.
showing the photo. It was just swimming there right next to the boat, and the guy took the video. Pink dolphin right there in Louisiana. And remember, I told you they saw them going up the Mississippi River. They've had dolphins go up the Mississippi River all the way up to Illinois.
So dolphins are freshwater fish, or they
No,
can?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess they can live in both. I guess they can adjust. I don't
no,
know.
no. These are freshwater dolphins, but there's a possibility they could live in brackish, because when you get to the end of the Mississippi River, by the what is it, the delta, the
Yeah,
mouth,
the delta. Yeah, the mouth.
the water probably becomes brackish and then salty.
Yeah,
And what is brackish, James? I don't know what that means.
A mixture.
Oh, of salt and fresh?
half
Gotcha.
half salt, half fresh. Yeah, and
Gotcha.
the crabs like the brackish water. So a lot of people in Louisiana go when they open the Mississippi River spillway and it dumps into the lake where the water's flowing. A lot of people go and set these nets out, and when they go back in the evening, it's full of crabs. It's so heavy with blue crabs they can't hardly lift up the net.
The blue crab, which is the famous crab in the Chesapeake Bay in Maryland, and up here in New Jersey, they're all over the damn place. Even in Florida, the whole East Coast and Gulf Coast too. They like brackish water, and unfortunately, they also grow faster in dirty, mucky water, like high bacteria.
Ooh.
You know, same thing with clams and everything. They're
Scavengers?
well, yeah, they're opportunistic scavengers. I'm sure if a fish is injured and kind of on the bottom, that they're not gonna wait.
That's
until
good
the fish-
eating for them.
They're not
Yeah.
gonna wait till the fish is
Yeah,
dead.
it's like crawfish. My friend put a little baby crawfish in the fish tank that was tiny, 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 tiny. And then in about 2 years, the crawfish got this big. Well, I'm showing you here.
Ate all the fish?
And it was no fish left in the tank.
Oh, yeah, it's got to eat.
Well, they'll grab live fish.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
crawfish are ruthless.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, this little baby crawfish, they're ruthless. It killed every fish in the tank. I don't care how big or small the fish was.
When I used to work in a fish market, we used to get the crawfish, the live crawfish from farms in Louisiana. They were red.
Yeah,
They
they're
were-
red. Yeah, they're red. Yeah.
Red, and the males had the big claws, and they had a skinnier tail and big claws, and the females had the broad tail and the little pincher claws. But the females were much more aggressive. The females were faster and more aggressive.
Sort of like human females.
Yeah, yeah, and they had the big ass. I mean, they had the wide tail. I guess to accommodate the huevos, the eggs.
So were they very aggressive? Did you have trouble with any of these crabs biting you, or?
No, the crawfish? Nah, you a little pinch. Get a pinch.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, and these crawfish in Louisiana, some of them with the big tails. It's
get a
really a
heart-
freshwater lobster. It's really identical to a lobster, really, if you look at it.
Yeah,
Looks
it's a
just like a
freshwater
lobster.
lobster.
Their tails would be big, and you get them boiled, and they're just full of meat, just full of that white meat.
See, I don't understand
claws.
why they don't do soft shell crawfish, because
Oh, I've gotten some, yeah.
considering how big they do get, if they molt, well, they do molt. They're in crustaceans. when they like invertebrates, when they grow, they molt because they have an exoskeleton in invertebrate, no vertebrate. So when they molt, they're soft and they go hide somewhere where it's safe and they get hard again. But if you get them and put them on ice and kill them on the ice, now you can do the batter or the egg and the seasoned flour or whatever your heart desires, and you can
For the
deep
soft
fry it.
shell crab. And you can
Like
eat those shells, right?
Yeah, it's very soft. Yeah,
Yes.
you can eat it. You eat the whole thing.
Get some fiber.
It's like a
And
little soft leather.
well, you got to get them in time. You can't get them when they're starting to get hard again. You gotta when they're pure, when they're totally soft, they're very edible. I mean,
So is there any danger of crabs and crawfish being overfished?
Nah. Maybe
Because they
crab.
multiply so quickly?
Not crawfish. No.
They multiply very quickly?
well, as a courtesy, if you're a commercial crabber, you should be throwing back the females with the eggs. If you see eggs under the female and around the belly area, you should throw them back.
Well,
Hey,
Louisiana, well, in Louisiana, you can be fined if they catch you with a female
Female
full of
with eggs?
Oh yeah, get ready to pay. You're going to pay about $300 or $400.
wow, they should do that in New Jersey because over here they're it's very it's kind of stupid for a commercial crabber to shoot himself in the foot and like take
Yeah.
the females with eggs. I mean,
Yeah, if you're in Louisiana and you got your crab nets and you got your bucket and all full of crabs, and Wildlife and Fisheries walks up, the guy says, "Hey, how's it going? Let me see the bucket." Oh, look, a female full of eggs. He's just gonna pull out his little ticket book,
Wow.
say, "Let me see your ID and your license."
pay a big fine.
I remember, I think last show, James, we were talking about the king crab in Alaska, how they had to call off the season.
It might have been snow. Well,
Snow crab.
might have been
Snow-
both. Actually.
Yeah, they had a big problem in Alaska.
The volume plummeted. The volume of they overfished them, and now they're all dying.
Yes. Yes.
There's only so many of these creatures, and
Going back to y'all were talking about slavery. This is another topic. Going back to Louisiana, but actually, I was reading about my family, and they did have some servants, as they called them.
Reparations you got to get those ready.
No, I don't believe so. But
Tommy Carroll says LBR is the Shiner Brewery owned by a fella named Alvarez who works for Modelo and helped Corona.
Hey, Tommy, all I know is the website says it's family owned, and it's a company called Gambrinus Company. Gambrinus is the Prince of Beer, the German deity of beer, Prince King Gambrinus. Those German Norse deities, those demigods.
The demigod in Valhalla.
Yeah, Gambrinus, big guy with a beer belly that sticks out this much, and he's got a crown. He's holding a mug of a stein of beer.
No, didn't Modelo buy is it Modelo, Budweiser, and what's the one in Belgium? They're all together as the same company now. Corona.
Yeah, InBev, 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 International Beverages, yeah.
Yeah, they own what's the famous beer out of Belgium that everyone likes? Stella. Yeah, that's all one company now, isn't it? Budweiser, Stella, Modelo, and also Corona, all under one. Yeah, that's the problem now. Everyone's buying everyone.
Corona, Modelo, Budweiser, Stella Artois, Lion Brewery, who bought Bell's, Foster's. They're all under the control of Anheuser-Busch InBev. But
I heard Foster's was like old style. Well, I don't know if you guys know old style here. It's like a cheap beer I heard in Australia, Foster's is like old style. I heard that Corona was not thought of as a great beer in Mexico. It's funny how, you could just take it and bring it to America and make it some
Yeah,
big
no, but I
deal.
mean that's kind of a myth about Mexico because I know I've been to Mexico. I live 10 hours from Mexico. I can drive to Mexico pretty fast, and I mean if you consider 10 hours fast, not really, but but I do live. I can leave at 5 in the morning and be in Mexico for 3 in the afternoon, and that's not
You
that
mean
far.
Okay.
by Brownsville? By Brownsville, Texas?
Like Nuevo Laredo, or Matamoros, all of those
So you're
down there.
saying that Corona's well thought of in Mexico?
Well, I mean, I see a lot of people buying it. I don't think they're buying
Okay.
it because, yeah. So I think it's kind of a myth. Like if you go to Mexico, you're going to see a lot of people buying Bud Light. Well, at least they used to. Bud Light,
Ugh.
Modelo, Corona Extra. They buy Tecate. They buy Pacifico. Yeah, all the same beers that they buy over here. Victoria, the Vienna Lager, which I love, the dark beer, the Vienna Lager Victoria. But yeah, it's not true. Mexicans do like to drink Corona. Um, but Americans make up these myths. But
No,
yeah,
no.
that family I was talking about that had the slaves. Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, I meant to say the
Yeah, the
servants.
slavery. Getting back to the slavery.
Yeah, they didn't like to say slaves. In Louisiana, they wouldn't say that. They would say
Oh, and
white.
also Dos Equis. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Dos
Oh yeah, Dos
Equis.
Equis. Yeah, very popular.
Well,
Yeah.
now Modelo has oro, meaning gold. They're light. I guess they're a light beer.
It's trash. I tried it. It's trash. I'm sorry.
Modelo
I
Oro.
hated it. I hated it.
Alvarez, I think, bought the brewery in 1989. LBR. He also owns the company that you mentioned.
Well, I believe
Uh,
that. I mean, I wouldn't shock me, yeah, but we had a
yeah.
family. Our family tree goes back, and if you go to the local library here, they have all the records of all the purchases, like anybody that purchased anything. So it's very interesting if somebody's looking to do a family tree because it'll say, like my ancestor, Hemel, which is not a French word, Hemel. Oh yeah, Hemel is. I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. I'm drinking beer. The Heidel,
Heidel. The Heidel
Heidel.
family.
Yeah, Heidel, Heidel. That's not from France. Heidel. Where does that sound like it's from? Heidel.
Sounds like Germanic.
Yeah, Heidelberg. Yeah, you got it.
Excuse me.
So they moved over here. And they did buy servants. They used to say servants, try to make it sound nice.
Fancier
But the
word
thing
for
about,
slavery. Gotcha.
yeah, well, in Louisiana they would say servants, but they would say our family has many servants. But
Yeah.
but the record book, the thing about the record book, it has a list of each person who they purchased. And what country they came from. So it's if somebody's trying to do a family tree,
Family
it'll say,
tree.
yeah, we bought this guy named um, Emil, not his real name, Emil from the Angola nation, or Pierre from Guinea, the Guinea coast. So people could trace their family tree back to what part of Africa they came from.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure West Indies. I'm sure the British colonies of the West Indies. Their African culture was retained and practiced still. I think that's where their accent originally came from, and a lot of their
That's right,
cultural
just like Jamaica.
tradition.
And
Yeah,
those records even shows how much they paid for each slave. It's very interesting how much they paid, But
Wow.
yeah.
if you go
They
to
have
Jamaica, I'm sorry to interrupt.
no. Go ahead.
If you go to Jamaica or Nigeria or Ghana or Gambia, they all have that British accent,
Or what about Cameroon? That's over there too by Ghana.
Well, now
That's
that's a little bit different, James,
Cameroon.
because Cameroon was a German colony.
Really?
Germany used to own a bunch of countries in Africa until World War One, and when the First World War broke out, the British and the French attacked the German colonies and seized all of them. So Cameroon was a German colony, Southwest Africa, Tanganyika, Rwanda. You've heard of Rwanda,
Of course.
Burundi, and Togoland. Those 6 places were German colonies. 6 places. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, these the equatorial parts of Africa, the tropical, areas near the Republic of Congo.
Togoland and Cameroon is near the equator.
The equator they're on the coast, the Atlantic coast.
Atlantic coast, yeah.
Yeah, and
Rwanda and Burundi are in the central part of Africa, inland. They're not close to any water except for lakes.
Lake.
Tanganyika is on the Indian Ocean coast. It's part of Tanzania today.
Yeah, the big lakes there, Lake Malawi, Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika.
Right. That's exactly right. You're right. You would make a good grade in geography. Most Americans are ignorant of geography. Southwest
and
Africa,
certain parts of history.
in Southwest Africa is called Namibia today. Namibia, but it was called Southwest Africa until 1990. But the Germans own that. That's down at the bottom, down at the very bottom next to South Africa.
Mozambique is dry, right? They're closer to.
No, Mozambique is a tropical rainforest.
It's tropical rainforest, yeah.
And it was called Portuguese East Africa until 1975. Portuguese East Africa.
They have chimpanzees in a remote area of in the jungle somewhere. It's a really remote area, and these chimpanzees are like 6 feet tall, over 200 pounds.
Wow.
And chimpanzees are very aggressive creatures.
Extremely violent, very vicious.
They're very violent. They wage war against other colonies of chimpanzees.
Yes.
And, they're so bad. Well, their DNA is so close to human. That's probably why they're so bad. They'll take a newborn chimp. If the female gives birth, she has to leave the area of the colony
to give birth
right out somewhere, because if she gave birth near the colony,
they'll eat it.
Male would eat it. Would take
cannibal.
Take her baby away and eat it, because they hunt monkey chimps.
Oh God.
Yeah, they're not
like Cornelius on Planet of the Apes.
No, they're not vegans. They're not vegans. They're very
meat oriented. Yeah.
They're very, they have those.
So they eat small monkeys.
Yeah, they'll chase them up trees and rip them apart. They'll eat them.
Ooh.
Eat them alive.
That's what they call the law of the jungle.
Yeah,
eat or be eaten.
And the chimpanzees are intelligent in a sense, because what they'll do is they're vicious and they're killers, but they'll use tools, like they'll find a termite mound and they'll take a stick and they'll lick it and they'll stick it in the termite mound, and they'll let it sit in there and get covered with termites, and
then eat them.
Off of it. Yeah, like
a little protein snack.
Do the same thing.
Protein snack for them.
They're the only animal that people know about that use tools. They kind of use tools.
Yeah. Then
Do they?
they showed a documentary about the silverback gorilla, which is the alpha male of the group, and the silverback sleeps on the ground where and all the females and young gorillas are up in the trees. Um, and That's pretty much how they do their thing, you know. But there's poachers, there's
It's
you know,
horrible. Poachers are the worst. When they kill the animals, take what they need, and leave the carcass, it's just such a waste.
chimps are smarter than you think. You know what they did? Because a certain tribe in Africa was hunting chimpanzee. They in the middle of the night they went into the village and they kidnapped the babies, the
The
babies,
chimps did? Humans?
humans, and they killed them and ate them.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they to get like revenge from the
Wow.
tribe hunting them. But you know what fascinates me, like the Samburu and the Maasai when they go hunting, like they'll go after lion or something, and they have their spears, which are like Zulu spears. You know, they're long, but they go. They don't necessarily always go to hunt lion. They go to steal the carcass that the female lions in the pride hunted down.
Oh, wow.
So a whole big group of men would march towards where the lion pride is, and they'll be loud, talking loud, and then the lions would get spooked and back off, and they would literally steal like a wildebeest
Wow, that's crazy.
or what the hell um, a zebra, whatever
Or
car.
an oxen of some kind, maybe?
Yeah, yeah. So all the work that the females did, because the females do everything.
Hunt.
The males just sleep and have sex. They don't do anything, but they have to eat first. Otherwise they'll kill whatever lion, even the cubs. Like a male lion won't let the cubs eat first. Like the male has to get full, and then he allows the females and the cubs to eat second. But anyway, the tribe members would take the carcass, would steal the carcass from the lions and have easy bush meat. They call it bush meat.
What would the lions do to retaliate? Anything?
Nothing. You got like you got like a half a dozen dudes with the spears and
Yeah.
screaming and yelling and ready to use their spear.
Now, you see how all those beer bottles have yellow in the back of them?
Yes.
Those are National Geographic magazines going back to 1918.
Wow, incredible.
1980. You're a bigger collector than my grandfather was.
So I was reading articles in the 1920s. It was all usually British or American writers. They went to India and they were doing these tiger hunts. It was very cruel. You know, they would hunt these tigers. The tiger's not
Yeah.
bothering. Tiger's not bothering anybody, all right? So they would have like 40 guys and they would line up in a big line, spread out, and they would just march forward through the jungle and going after the tiger. And they're going to kill the tiger.
Yeah.
But these
And now
tigers
they're
were
endangered.
smart. Yeah, but I would read about this. These Bengal tigers in Bengal, India, they were smart. So they knew the humans were chasing them, right? So they said what the tigers would do is they would go and run forward to get away. And then they would make a U-turn to the right. And they would let the people go forward and they would go behind them. And then they would jump on a human and a couple of people.
Attack them.
They would, yeah. So the tiger would figure like, okay, you got me. I'm going to get killed, but I'm taking a few people down with me. So the tigers would do that. They would always do that. They would go forward, then they would make a turn and go back behind them. And if the tiger came up behind you, you would just hope you got killed, because if you survived, you didn't want to be in that condition.
Yeah.
When they started attacking you like a cat, like scratching you and biting you.
It's
Yeah, with
some
the
deadly,
bite.
some real bad damage.
Yeah,
You know,
they're smart, man. You know, there's tigers in Thailand, Vietnam, Southeast Asia has
They
tigers.
hunt them too, unfortunately.
Yeah, did you know they had tigers in Siberia?
Yeah, Siberian tiger, the largest
Siberian
tiger.
tigers, largest tiger in the world, and it's full of fur. It could be 50 below zero, and they're just walking around, not even cold.
And even in Indonesia, in the like Borneo,
Oh, the
Sumatra,
Sumatran
Oh,
tigers,
they're not
you
as
know,
big as the Bengal, but they have.
smaller. Yeah,
James, I may have mentioned this on the show before about the problem of smart animals in Canada, the super boars that some fucking farmer made it a pig and a wild boar, and they made these super boars, and they're
Genetically modified
yes,
hog.
and they're in the 0 below degrees. These things are so smart they burrow like 5 feet into the ground and they can't find them, and they're a totally invasive species, and they're trying to figure out how to wipe them out. They're trying to get a collar on one of them. They're so smart they can't catch them.
Yeah, but
Get
I
a
thought
collar on one to take them to a group of them so they can get them.
they look through binoculars and look for steam coming out of the snow,
No, they go down so far they can't find it.
and
I
there's
mean,
no
they burrow down. They're so
steam
smart.
coming.
It's bad news, really bad. And some of them have come to North America from Canada. These super boars, and they ruin an area. They're so aggressive and,
I
and
would love
invasive.
I would love to have wild boar head cheese and smoked
oh
sausage.
yeah. Louisiana is plagued by wild boars. In fact, you can hunt wild boars in Louisiana and kill as many as you want without a license, and
For
there's no limit.
24/7.
Yeah, there's no limit. You can just shoot them all. They
Is
hate
there
them,
any season for them?
Probably not.
every day of the year.
Wow, that's bad.
Well, they're invasive. That's why.
Yeah. Well, these super boars are even worse than that.
Yeah, these wild boars in Louisiana, they go into the fields, they tear up everybody's crops, they attack people. They got horns on their face that are big.
Yeah,
and
they could
curved.
kill a man if you're not careful. They could kill a man.
Well, they got the tusks, the razor sharp tusks.
Yeah, they're extremely aggressive.
Well, the woman's. I know the story. It was in Connecticut, Tommy. The woman had a full-grown male chimpanzee as a pet, or maybe
That's a bad move there.
maybe he was something else.
Oh boy.
And she invited her lady friend over to the house, and for some reason, and all of a sudden, this male chimp attacked her and bit her fingers off, tore her face off,
Oh my God.
tore her nose off, and she had to undergo. She survived, but she had to undergo massive
Plastic reconstructive surgery.
constructive surgery. But what happened was when the cops showed up, the chimp was dashing towards the police to attack them, to open the police car door and attack them, and they just riddled the chimp full of bullets, and it took more than one bullet, that's for sure, to bring that chimp down.
Sort of like King Kong on the Empire State Building.
Yeah, with the planes dive bombing it. Yeah,
They had to shoot.
honey badger. Yeah,
They had to shoot. They had to shoot King Kong 40 times.
yeah. Well, of course they shoot Godzilla a million times, but nothing happens to him.
Right,
But
he's radioactive.
he's radioactive. He's like, and they all have like laser beams. So even Mothra now has a laser beam.
But you got to think about King Kong in that movie. King Kong. That movie was sort of like about animal exploitation, huh?
Yeah. They captured him on Skull Island, the mythical Skull Island, which which sunk, but there are British explorer documentation that it existed, and they said there were prehistoric creatures there. But anyway, they captured, they knocked them out with some whatever chemical gas, and they brought them for like a carnival sideshow. Brought him to the United States like a carnival, like a circus sideshow.
Yeah, to put him on exhibition abroad.
Yeah, I like the song that the natives used to dance and sing to summon him. They had the big wall, which
Yeah.
looked like a flimsy wall anyway. It didn't look like it would hold Kong. And they go, "Hunga, hunga, unga, watabanga, hunga, hunga." So they would summon him, and he had no special powers. He just had strength. And the Japanese King Kong was hilarious. Um,
Yeah.
what was I going to say? Um, you know, these now. Tommy Carroll mentioned a honey badger. Honey badgers, badgers in general are tough anyway, but honey badgers have very elastic skin. So if a predator or say a lion bites them, it stretches. But it's a real tough member of the weasel family because that's what they are. A wolverine has got to be the
Oh
toughest.
yeah.
Wolverine has got to be absolutely. But you know what's funny? I saw a YouTube video, Russian guy who had a tamed, not domesticated. He didn't live in a house. He had a tamed wolverine that used to cuddle with him, and he would feed it by hand, and it was like very very calm, and it showed affection, but it's a wild animal.
Yeah, you can't trust it. You can't trust it.
How could you trust you know a wild animal? It's like even a feral cat, even a stray cat can't really,
Oh, like orangey.
like Orangey. I mean, I'm sure Orangey had bad moods every now and then.
Oh, like slicing my leg open.
Yeah, or ransacking your place and knocking things over, and
Jumping up in the kitchen cabinet and going behind all the glasses. I thought she was going to break all the glass. I said she's going to break. I said she's going to break every glass in the cabinet. But I couldn't believe it. She was behind all the glasses, and all she had to do was push them all out the cabinet. They would all broke. But she just, I said, Orangey. I said, get out that. I told her, get out that cabinet. So she turned around, and it was amazing. She turned around like this, behind the glasses. I couldn't believe it. She just like, and
really,
yeah, and she came out the cabinet. I said, good.
that's because she read your tone of voice, and she respected your, whatever you want to call it, friendship, companionship. You know what I mean? Like if she didn't like you, she would have just knocked all your good whiskey glasses right off.
Oh yeah, she would listen to me. She would listen, but she was vicious but she liked to play. She didn't understand playing. She thought playing was the same as killing. So if I was walking through the house, she would come up behind me and go like,
Yeah. Well, they're good at hunting birds for feral cats. They're really experts at hunting
I
birds.
saw her walking through I saw her trot. You know how when they kill something, they trot. They trot. I saw her trotting through the yard one day like this.
Yeah, that means they're happy that they got something. Yeah.
She was trotting through the yard with a squirrel hanging out her mouth, bouncing. The squirrel's bouncing.
Yeah, squirrel.
She ran underneath the house. I said, "Well, there's no way I could help that
Nah,
squirrel."
it's too late. She ran under. Thank you, Tommy Carroll. Thank you for stopping by as always. Yeah, it's getting to that. It's getting close to the dinner hour. I'm probably going to order some Chinese food or pizza or something.
The third participant quit.
Oh, he got he gets real hungry at this time. Mick.
Mick,
Yeah, he's all right. He does a little bit like Eric. He's like Don Juan, and then he's gone.
Well, he gets hungry, Mick. Yeah. Well, it was good talking to you. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. What is it? Almost 3 hours already.
Whew.
I felt like I just started at 3 p.m.
It's hard to believe, huh?
Yeah. Oh, the heaviest green anaconda on record ever found was a female, 440 pounds. So how hard that would be to unravel off of somebody. Like,
and the second biggest was found at Walmart. Second biggest female was found at Walmart.
Second biggest female shopper or anaconda?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just said was found.
I don't know if I sent it to you. My friend Paul, he lives in this building in Brighton Beach, Brooklyn, near the ocean, and He's near Coney Island too. Anyway, he showed me a short video of his superintendent that is so good for nothing and lazy. He fixes nothing, and all he does is he's in cahoots with all the other crooks around age. He used to break into mailboxes but his ass was like a billboard. It was humongous.
So
And
in other words, he's no bookman.
no, he's not. And he looked bigger than BC, to be honest with you.
You remember Bookman on
On Seinfeld.
no, Bookman on Good Times. Bookman was the superintendent.
Oh yeah, Bookman didn't really fix anything.
They called him Buffalo Butt.
Yeah, he didn't really fix any. What was the neighbor? Walloma,
Wallona.
and that's where she took care of baby Janet Jackson.
Right.
I mean, young Janet
Right.
Jackson.
But the guy that played Bookman, he was really a great singer. You know, in real life, he was a great singer. He had been on Laugh-In and other comedies.
He reminded me of Rerun on What's Happening.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Didn't he? He had the mushroom hat. He had the same build.
Well, but the difference is that Bookman was not effeminate like Rerun.
I got you. Yeah, well, what happened is the reason why you saw Bookman and Willona and Janet Jackson is because they decided to get rid of
John Amos.
John Amos, because John Amos kept on complaining to Norman Lear and everybody that he wanted much greater speaking role, and he says that Jimmy Walker was getting all the attention on the show, and he kept on being a pest.
Right.
About it.
So they solved that problem by having him get killed in a car wreck.
Yeah. Oh, that's how they bumped him off, right?
Yeah, he got killed in a car wreck.
And that's how they did it. Just like when Heidi Sweberg, anyway, when Susan, the fiance, the redheaded fiance of George Costanza, they killed her off because nobody got along with her on the set. The cast members, nobody, they couldn't stand her. So Larry David thought of a way to get rid of her. So they bumped her off by licking the toxic envelopes. Because George wanted to buy he wanted the cheapest envelopes.
Right. Those aren't the only two actors killed off a series by being difficult. There's been many. Suzanne Summers started making all kind of demands on Three's Company. They said ABC said, "Bye, take a hike." Yeah.
So you're a star on a successful long-running sitcom, and you're making money. You got a steady job, and you're making a lot of money. Every episode, you're pulling in a nice chunk.
Big ratings.
And the publicity and blah blah, and you start getting too big for your britches, like the late Farrah Fawcett wanted to do big movies. All of a sudden, she's on Charlie's Angels, and I think her movies
didn't do so well. But like Farrah Fawcett said, and one of the other girls said, she said, "You ever notice every episode of Charlie's Angels we were running? Every episode they had them running."
They had him running, yeah. Jacqueline Smith.
Cheryl Teague.
My mother met her in the big shopping mall in Paramus. She got her autograph. Jacqueline Smith. She's from Texas originally.
But
Cheryl Teagues, yeah.
The Suzanne Summers told ABC, "This is the way it's going to be." She told them that in 1979, I think.
Yeah.
I'm getting $500,000 per episode. I'm getting $500,000 per episode, or I'm not coming on anymore. And
that's when
ABC said, Looks like you're not coming on anymore.
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. That isn't that when she came out with that piece of crap, the Thigh Master,
All
that
right, right.
exercise, the Thigh Master, and yeah, towards the end, and I think that was Don Knotts' last part.
They bounced her. Yeah, he was great on that show, but they bounced Suzanne Summers like a beach ball when she made that demand.
She's out. Yeah, she's out. And then there was a problem on Bewitched with the original, the original Darren,
Yeah,
There was Dick York and Dick Sargent.
Dick York. And
Dick
then
York was the guy with the dark hair. The
the
first
first one, yeah. And they got rid of him and brought in Dick Sargent. Yeah.
Dick Sargent was boring. Yeah, Dick York had the facial expressions.
Yeah. All right. Well, I gotta go.
All right.
Good seeing
Okay.
you.
All right. I'm gonna go order food. Thank you, as always, for coming.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay, folks, that was a good progressive discussions. It always ends up being a good progressive discussions. And you have a very nice and pleasant remainder of this Sunday. And you have a also equally pleasant last week of July, right? 2023. And the next holiday will be Labor Day weekend at the beginning of September. See you in September, Labor Day weekend. That's when the weather starts to cool down. I hope. Knock on wood. Unfortunately, we're supposed to have a very bad hurricane season, but that's when the weather starts to feel a tad bit autumny. You know, autumn is slightly in the air, and I love autumn. It's my favorite time of year. The holidays are fun. The weather's nice. I love the foliage turning colors, and Labor Day weekend we have a lot of festivals here in northeastern in the New Jersey, New York area. So anyway, try to survive the heat wave. Make sure your home has room darkener curtains. Make sure you have a more powerful energy efficient air conditioner. The new ones are great. And like I said, just keep your windows dark. For those with cars, try to get like 50%, the top 50% of your front windshield darkened, tinted, and dress appropriately. Wear a hat. If you must go out, lie out in the sun, you're taking a big risk nowadays because the sun is really strong. So make sure you use the recommended SPF sunscreen that recommended by dermatologists. Just, be safe. Be safe. All right, and we'll see you next time. Have a good week. We'll see you next time for not only progressive discussions, unless I'm away. If I'm around, I'll be on. Not only progressive discussions, but the new show I do called Northern Lights Tie-Dye TV with Paul Anthony Manti, a celebrity performing artist and clothing designer. That's Saturday night. So we'll see you then. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.